All right, here we are. We're up on top of Baldy, local mountain here, just outside of town. Looking good. We got planes flying over. Um, Cloudy, overcast day. Look out over there. Look out across that valley. Got us an adventure going on. Or got me a big adventure, and a couple other rigs are heading up right now. I kind of passed them down there a little bit. I got a decision to make right now. I'm trying to do a big loop. So basically, the trail continues up and over this right here, and you drop into the next valley. There's a road that cuts through that valley, and you can go up to the next mountaintop, drop into the next valley, and there's a cabin out there. It's on Purchase Creek. It's called the Motor Musher Cabin, and this time of year, this route is open. You can go straight up and over. And then of course, this trail over here is Dave Churchill that goes out and around. That's the Baldy Challenge route. Willow, back, goes down in the valley to Willow Creek, where that road is at. And then for the Baldy Challenge, we come back that same route. There's some other guys coming up for the redemption run of the Baldy Challenge. A couple guys that, or at least one guy that broke his rig, and they're coming back up here for redemption. They're gonna do that today. I tried to talk them into going straight up and over, but they want to do that section of it. What I want to do, straight up and over, straight to Purchase Creek, to that next valley, stay the night at the cabin, and then come back out what's called Lower Purchase, which is just a nasty, swampy killer route that comes back and gets back on the road, and then you jump on the Dave Churchill Trail, which is the Baldy Challenge route, and you come back to this spot. So you end up doing this big loop, which is cool. It's always cool in Alaska to get loops created and figured out, because a lot of these trails just go in and you got to come back out the same route. So this is a big route, big loop route that I definitely want to check out and see if it can be done. I know I can get to the cabin, no problem. That's not the concern. It's tomorrow. It's going to be overcast like this. Hopefully it doesn't rain. But what I'm hoping is I can come back out that Lower Purchase Trail. And it's a disaster in there, deep swamp stuff. So I'm going to have to, figure out at some point tomorrow if I'm going to full commit to that. I'll probably dip into it, mile or two, check it out, and just determine if it can be done. If there's, if I come up any sort of conclusion that it can be done, I'm going for it. But for right now, I'm waiting for these other guys to get up here, and I got to decide whether I want to go up and around, up and over, and try to do the big loop, or go with these guys on that Baldy Challenge route and hook it back around. So I wouldn't necessarily be doing the full loop, but I could do the Dave Churchill side to the road, go up to the cabin, and then still come out Lower Purchase back to the road and come back around the Dave Churchill. So the only section I wouldn't be doing is this up and over route, which I've done many times before. It's not that bad, because I kind of want to hang out with these guys today and watch them and participate in this little redemption run going on. But I'll make that decision here. But right now we got the Defender. We got the hill climb part of this out of the way. We're up top Baldy now. Everything's good. Scenic. Got the lakes down there. It's fantastic. We'll do a little panoramic the other way. There's your panoramic shot. Slide this over so it's, there we go. Nice clear view. overlooking that valley. All the Who's down in Whoville. There it is. Back around to the glacier way out there. Knick Glacier. Back to the Defender. And wait for these guys to get up here. Well, here we go. These guys are heading on the Baldy Challenge route. I'm gonna commit to this, not do the up and over, but I'm gonna hang with these guys till we get to the creek, and then I'll continue on to the cabin. But I already had a couple rigs turn around. Had some problems. One's got some runnability issues, and the other one, no lockers. Kind of a stockish forerunner. They turned around. So it's just the three of us heading on for now, and then I'll branch off once we get to the river, or the creek, and head towards the cabin. Buggy holes. Stick over here to the side. When you're in this type of stuff, you go green. No shame in it. You don't want to be out in the brown. The brown will take you down. The green will keep you clean. Got the two Toyotas in front of me. Got us first stuck. Toyota on Toyota action. I'm in the standby. Turned out to be a nice day. The sun's coming out. We're into the nice frothy mud. Look at that right there. That's what you need to get into. The what? Alright, we gotta flip the switch on these little silly belts. I don't even know how to do it. There we go. Get that little silly belt going. They'll pull, I'll give them credit. They will pull. They do work as a winch, but my God, they're slow. Slow and unserviceable. That's a deceptive hole. See what he's gonna do. Back up. Take the alternate route. Get over to the left more. Gotta go green. There's the line. Nice. Next up. It's a little Bob Shorten Toyota. Look at that rear end, all nice and tucked in. Shortened. Pretty slick. Alright, we're at the first swampy area. Just pick a line, pick a tree, and go for it. I think I'm just going to end up going right straight down through the center. That's the route I took in the spring in the Baldy Challenge, just right down through the center. And if you get hung up, you can always winch off those far trees over there. It's just getting through this little spot, you know. It's doable. We got through that all right. I did a quick winch. Kim behind me just bombed through it, and we got the other Toyota. He's winching to a part right over there on the other side of that tree. Go get some footage of him. Got some slow winching going on. Took a new tree. That's probably it. Yeah, this hole's all about picking the right line. This is about the second bad hole coming in on this trail. The first one on the Baldy Challenge, that slows a lot of people down, and then this one really gets them. This is the start of the bad stuff. Because, you know, like you say, there's multiple ways, but you got to watch for those rocks. You know, you hit one of those, it could be catastrophic. Or you could pick a, you know, you pick a wide line and go way out. Then you're gonna have to winch a couple more times, but we're getting it. Yeah, here comes Kim and Eric behind me. I just picked my way through this big swamp. Pretty wild out there. Some deep holes out there, so you gotta go kind of slow and be really cautious, careful. Well, that's Eric. Yeah, it's just serious business out here. See if he's going to stay far to the right, his left, and then hook it back over to the left. Nice. Got a little close to that rock right there, but it's all right. Got through it. Get out in these deep, dark swamps. Got Kim stuck in the Toyota out here in the swamp. I just had to come back. I was over there, the other Toyota. I just had to come back, get hooked up, pull that big old Toyota. There you go. to that turbocharged winch. When the silly built can't do it. The turbo winch can. See if he's gonna be still stuck. Is he still stuck? Can he get through that? Nope, he's still stuck. I don't think I can back up either. There we go. Silly Bill got him that time, that little bit.
I'm gonna throw my anchor in now.
Awesome, we're good. Ooh, that was a hard pull. Get these bigger rigs stuck in this muck, and it's serious business. All right, I got to pull them out of that. I got to get turned around in a little rough spot here, but yeah, look at that. That was pulling me forward quite a while until it just sunk that front end, and I got a good bite. Swamp muck, nothing better. Well, there we are. We made it to Willow Creek. 3 of us. There's the creek. Really low this time of year. Beautiful. Look at them big boulders. So when we do the Baldy Challenge, you can't see any of these rocks. They're all underwater. So it's amazing. When guys cross right here, they don't smack into the bigger ones. But yeah, this is it. This is halfway point of the Baldy Challenge. You know, you got to turn around and head back where we started. But I am continuing on to Upper Purchase, which is that way, back down the road a couple miles, and up that over there into the next valley over. So I've got, you know, it's about this same distance that we just came, but a lot easier. It's a more established route, a lot less mud, and you know, super cool. The water's all low right now, so there's really nothing to worry about this time of year when you're out here in the bush getting in Alaska. So these guys are gonna grab something to eat. We got word from Jeremy, another Toyota. He started coming. He's one of the ones that had turned around. He had some like he said, it was a bad coil. So he had turned around when we first come up the big hill, and it sounds like he's on his way, gonna try to catch these guys. So they're gonna hang out here for a little bit, and I'm jumping in, wash my face off in the creek, and I'm gonna head on to the next section. Hey, just running into these guys. This is my neighbor. My neighbor Tristan. I'm all the way out here just to run into your neighbor. They've been out here all day. So this is where I'm at. Get the good view. I'm on Upper Purchase, heading that way to the cabin. There's the panoramic 360. Look at that. There's the Defender, side-by-sides. Lots of side-by-side action out here today. But you know, it's good to run into people you know, and yeah, it's always a good thing that there's people out here looking out for each other, you know, and people you can count on that are out in these places. So it's really cool. But yeah, so this is, you know, a little over halfway, probably 3/4 of the way on this stretch of the circle. So once I get down here into the valley, down to the creeks down there, get across them, get up that other mountainside over there to the cabin. But this trail's in excellent shape, wide open, a little bit of mud over there, nothing bad. It's just wide, crazy wide open up here. Beautiful. See forever. Yeah, this is smooth sailing. So this is the easy section of this route. Let me get down here into this valley, and it's getting a little windy and chilly up here. Get out into the wind, get back down there to the creek. Alright, we made it to the cabin. So half the trip is done so far. Camp at the cabin is almost set. Got a fire going. Nice cozy cabin. Got the Defender parked, made it in one piece, everything held together nicely. The sun is pretty much gone over there. Gone. A little bit muddy, but made it here in one piece. Everything's working great. No strange noises, no issues. You know, just got here a little bit ago, so got the fire going, got a initial little cleanup, but the cabin's looking great. This is a cabin we bunch of us fixed up last fall and winter, and it's held up nicely. Fantastic. People are using it, which is great. That's what it's here for. You know, people are picking up after themselves on the inside. It's just how we left it, basically. This area here was all overgrown. You know, it's just thick vegetation, so I had to take some time and cut some of that crap out of the way, get a nice fire going, a little fire pit. But yeah, if people are coming up here this hunting season, you know, they got a nice place for a base camp right here. I think today is the last day of bow season for moose, so there's no one here. You know, it's not like they can hunt tonight or tomorrow morning. So met a bunch of people on side-by-sides heading back out, been back here playing. My neighbor, like I said, they're out there trying to get to this cabin. They couldn't find the right trail. I'll have to give them some directions later on to get here. But yeah, just preliminary quick cleanup and take a look inside. It's dark, there's no lights in here. I'll get something going a little later. I'm gonna get this fire going and then sit out here for a little bit until it gets darker, and then I'll move back inside and you know, set up my nice little, brought the little wool sleeping bag liner, and that's all I should really need is that wool sleeping bag liner. Nice thin wool, but super warm. But here it is, you know, paradise, Alaska paradise. Doesn't get any better than this. Wheel in. Fantastic trip. I haven't heard from the other guys how Jeremy did coming up and over. But, you know, when I left the river there, or the creek, those guys were eating, and then they were going to head home or wait to find out what Jeremy and the other Toyota, if he was coming across or not. Haven't heard anything on the radio. I think I'm too far out of range. But all's quiet up here, and I'm going to just sit here and enjoy it for a while. This is fantastic. All right, it's time to go to sleep. Tidy up the place a little bit. Swept the floor, just a little bit of housekeeping. Like I said, this cabin's in pretty good shape. Nice and clean. Really cool to see that people take care of stuff. You know, it just goes to show you make something nice and usable, people appreciate it, and people are going to take care of it. So yeah, I'm gonna get out my little sleeping bag, and this back here folds down, and so this makes it into a nice little bed right here. It's super nice out. Oh, my light's going out. Battery's going dead, so I gotta hurry up. But yeah, nice and cozy, pretty cool. Get some sleep and continue this adventure. I got the second half gonna happen tomorrow, and that's gonna be the tough part. This section from here back to the road. The lower purchase swamp section, you know, it's gonna be brutal. If I decide to go for it, you know, I got to make that decision at some point. At some point, there's going to be a, you know, drop dead area where it's not going to be worth it to turn around. You know, I'll be too far committed. But for now, I'm going to get a nice, good sleep and enjoy a nice, cozy cabin. Big swamp, stay in the trees. I gotta stay in the trees. Stay in the trees at all costs. All right, I'm past the point of no return. Full on commitment at this point. You can see the big swamps. You know, there's probably two that I've already come across, sticking into the woods as close to the trees as possible. I got sucked out into one, and you run out of stuff to winch off of quickly. And it is wet this year. Everything is just saturated. Every little ditch, every little hole has got water in it. And yeah, these swamps are full. So you gotta stay in the trees as far as possible. So I'm probably a little more than halfway now. There's no going back. It's all going forward. You know, you start getting into stuff like this where it's these little, you know, the mud holes are small, but they're like little ditches. And, you know, this is where buggies and everything has been stuck in the past. And there's just hundreds of these holes everywhere, you know, because every time somebody comes out here, they pick a different line. And you want to try to go where no one else has gone, where it's not all churned up, you know, because right now the vegetation is kind of like an anchor. It holds everything together, you know. It's you're driving on like a mat. So you want to stick to that vegetation, stick to the trees, and this is just a slog fest in the mud. But yeah, I mean, what do? You got to do it you got to accomplish it to create these loops, you know, and make it possible. You know, because in the future, this will be a nice loop to do another challenge with. You know, this could be a 2-day challenge event, you know, this route that I'm doing now. Come out here, you know, along the route, make some checkpoints, you know, put some stuff in, you know, some trees or along the route, markers that people have to verify that they've gone to, you know, and then get credit for doing the whole route and then for time. But yeah, this is it, slogging at it. I made it out of that swamp lower trail alive. Wicked back in there. That is a buggy side-by-side Argo route for sure. Very difficult in a wet year like this to get a street-driven rig through there. You got to be extremely careful. You make mistakes back there and fall into a big hole, or, you know, if you're not prepared, if you don't have the experience, you shouldn't even be out in that area. There's just nothing but problems that could come of it. It's not a trail. There's no definitive route through there. It's just kind of pick what looks good and hope it just doesn't end in a giant mud hole. And, you know, this year it's been so wet. There's no buggies that have been through there recently. And if they have, everything's kind of, it's so wet, you know, those swamps kind of heal themselves. Everything just kind of sinks back into shape, you know. So there's no, like, obvious tracks out across there. I was following some sort of little track, probably an Argo with tracks for a ways, you know, until they just go off into the water and the mud wherever they want. But there is a couple spots where you have to cross open swamp, and it's peat swamp, peat moss. It's not tundra. It's floating bog peat. So you sink into it, and you know, you come out of it, and everything's perfectly dry because it's like you're like driving in crushed up sponges. You know, Google and watch the Russian racers and Ladoga Trophy videos and what they're doing in parts of Russia and Eastern Europe like that. You know, they're racing across swamps, exactly what I just came through. And, you know, at some points they have to go ultra slow and just creep through it. And then, you know, because their worst fear is sinking in it. And you get too much wheel spin, you start to sink and you'll sink too fast. The name of the game is flotation. And, you know, it's back in here, you're either in just crazy black vegetation muck, or you're in that peat, that floating bog stuff. And the floating bog stuff is by far the worst to deal with, because you'll just sink, and there's nothing there. Once you break that vegetation mat, you're done. You have to winch. You have to be able to pull a few feet to regain that traction and get back up on top of that vegetation. The black muck stuff, especially this year, the vegetation is so thick. You can skirt the edges, or if you can just get a little bit of momentum and get to the other side, and grab that vegetation and climb out. Many ways to do it, but yeah, you got to have the experience. You can't be going back in places like that and screwing around. It'll just end in disaster. But made it, no issues. I think about 3 hours. Which is fantastic. I was expecting to be out there all day, probably half the night, but cruised through it. Picked my lines perfect. Probably winched 4 or 5 times. Really, really short distances. It was just fantastic. So now I'm gonna go back up. This is Dave Churchill. So this is the halfway point of the Valley Challenge. So I'm very familiar with this now, going back to the top of Baldy. I can relax now. The sun's coming out. It's another fantastic day. I thought it was going to be raining all day and overcast, but once again, the weather guys are wrong. And here you go, sunshine and a beautiful day. So I'm just going to slow crawl it, enjoy it. The stressful part is done. All this stuff I can avoid. And, I've been through it so many times. I know exactly how to pick my way through it. But, that's it. We'll see you back over top of Baldy, or, if I get hung up or find some cool spots in here to do a little quick winch through, then I'll do that. But, we're going. All right, back to where I started yesterday at about noon. It's 4:06 today, so you can do the math on how many hours. Not in any hurry, stopping and talking to people. Going with the 2 Toyotas yesterday out the Dave Churchill Baldy route, down to Willow Creek. That would take a little longer than going straight up and over. The straight up and over and then all the way circle back around is the real route. But still, so what I actually did was actually a little tougher and a little longer. Still you end up in this, making a big circle. It was pretty tough wheeling, pretty good time. Today was super, super relaxed, super happy that I got through that lower Purchase Trail swampy mess, and then this last bit coming across here was just super nice. I stopped, winched to a couple places, just kind of played around a little bit, took my time, and paid attention to the landscape, what was kind of going on out here in nature. So super nice. And that's it for now. I'm heading home, get the rig washed up, and get ready for the next one. You got to get out in it. So see you on the trails.